All right, Charlie, I have a photo here that I'm posting in our chat. It's labeled. I labeled it on my computer. Charlie has a problem. It is the amount of hours that you've played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Oh, no.
48 hours on record. And I took that screenshot on Friday at like, I think
I've played it
like
more
9 or 10 my time, which you're like 6 hours after me. So that was kind of worrying seeing that. Maybe it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But you must have been staying up pretty late playing.
I am usually up till like 3 a.m. doing this stuff. I have been playing a lot of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
You need to stop.
I don't know why. I really do. I really need to play a video game that's like real. Like a real piece of art, not just like I don't know why I've been playing it so much. I feel like it's kind of like Candy Crush, you know? It's just it interacts with some part of my monkey brain and makes me like you know, that sort of thing. It's so like so reptile brain, you know. Usually I have something playing on my laptop while I'm playing the game because I have the volume all the way down. It's just something I do with my hands while I'm watching Dexter. Yeah, I have been playing a lot of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I have one achievement that only 0.3% of the player base has.
God.
Yeah, I might have a problem. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. I'm excited. Another episode. Pitching TV shows.
Another episode.
Very fun stuff.
It's gonna be fun. What's the TV show? I don't know.
Well, you know the title, that's for sure.
Unless you forgot. Fearless Remembrance. That was the title. I forgot what title I gave you.
I thought you were gonna forget for a second there.
Yeah.
Yes, Fearless Remembrance. That's my title. This
open-ended title. Very open. Really could be anything.
Very open, which I appreciated because that gave me some room to work with. But I had to buckle down and try to think it through. Try to figure out what this could mean. I want to first know before I get into mine what inkling of an idea you had, if you had one, for Fearless Remembrance.
I didn't. This is the show I had the least like preconceived notions about. But I was kind of thinking about maybe it's like a character and their memories like come to life almost, and it's sort of like an idea, sort of a Memento meets like an unreliable narrator situation where like the memories of an interaction or of an event are skewed by a person's mind because that's how people's minds work, and so they have to kind of like confront that the incorrect memories, both physically and like mentally, emotionally, you know?
Interesting. That
was kind of where my idea went.
My initial thought, this was similar, was basically like just a Jason Bourne style show. You know, like we have this guy, like a hitman who's trying to remember, like he had completely lost all of his memory, but he has these skills and he's like trying to work through what happened in his life. And figure out what happened. But then I remembered I basically already pitched that, like on episode like 40. I've had this happen a couple of times where I like start writing a show and then I realize I've already done it. I'm sure we've probably pitched the same show twice accidentally.
I am 100% positive, or effectively the same show. I know I have done that at least once or twice. Where it's like, it's these wacky characters and they're in space and they get up to things, you know?
Well, I mean, that's like pretty, you know, generic, but I like started writing the show and then I saw that and like I saw like kind of had the same plot line and I was like, oh boy, that's, you know, I could do an Amnesia Hitman twice, but if I can't do it, I can't do it exactly the same way twice, even if it was like 200 episodes ago. So I'm not doing that at all. What I've got here is I wouldn't do space because we haven't been in space for a little bit. I'm a space.
We haven't.
I also didn't want to do the memory thing because, like, someone forgetting stuff, because we just did On the Edge of Memory as our episode 10 episode. And that was a lot of that. So, I don't want to overbear the audience, overwhelm them with too much memory stuff,
Too much memory stuff, yeah. That makes sense.
So we have this is a space adventure show. It's very much in line of the old, the classic VRP stuff. So I'm going to give you our three principal adventuring characters first, and then I'll get into the pilot. First, we have Agrippa, or Grip for short. He's in his late 20s. He's a calm, cool, unaffected, smooth operator kind of guy.
Yeah, like me.
He has a very extreme weakness for all women. He spends his money as quick as he makes it, and he's an expert bladesmith and marksman. In terms of
when we say
dress,
all women, are you talking about like species, or is he like really? He goes to the old folks' home. He's just picking up birds. He's just laying out phone numbers.
Any female on two legs, old, young, anybody, they can pretty easily manipulate him into something.
Okay.
He typically wears like a suit with a very loose tie, sort of, noir detective kind of look, but a little more jazzy. I don't know. We could make it, I don't know, a fun color for the suit or something. Maybe it's a white suit. Maybe it's a white suit. There's like since it's a space show, you could have like the tie's a color changing tie that like, is always moving around or something. I don't know. Like it's like
you do
graphic,
space stuff.
like motion tie. Like the tie is like a GIF essentially, because it's moving.
Yeah,
but it's
or
not. It's
like
not
similar to like.
It's not like a joke GIF.
Rorschach's mask in Watchmen, where it's just constantly shifting and moving.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Something like that.
That'd be really cool. We could have a scene where, like, in the future, somebody, like, is tying him up on a chair, and they've got his tie wrapped around his eyes. That'd be cool. Next character we have is Davo Smothers, who's in his early 30s. He's a hulking mechanic who likes big machine guns and has a rambunctious and loud sense of humor. Grip and him are like brothers. He also has a dozen ex-wives who he has to pay alimony towards, so he's in desperate need for money all the time. Yeah. And he's the leader and heart of the team.
Oh, he's the sweet big guy who sometimes he's got to lay down the law, but he's a big barrel-chested teddy bear. Who also likes machine guns and getting laid, apparently, because he's got 12 ex-wives.
Well, he falls in love pretty easily, and then he gets married very easily, and then he gets divorced.
And then
but like in this part of his life, he's like sworn off getting married. Like he's done. But like that was his youth. It's like he got married a lot. Not even really. I mean, that far in his youth. He's in his early 30s, so he's got a dozen ex-wives, and they're like all across the galaxy. So when they're flying around and stuff, it's like he's gonna be like, oh, we can't go there because my ex-wife Linda lives there, and Bertha lives over there, and oh boy, Belinda lives over there, and they'll constantly run into them. For in like they'll be married to important people.
Maybe he has neck tattoos of all of their names, and there's just a line through all of them, and it goes down to like his chest, like the top of his chest, from the base of his head to the top of his chest. And he's like, God damn it, I'm out of room. I can't get married anymore.
We should put it on his back, and so it's like his entire, like the top of his neck, maybe the middle of his neck, all the way down to like his butt. And
his ass, yeah.
And that's why he always wears like turtlenecks everywhere, even when it's hot outside, because he doesn't want people to see. Or he's like wearing a scarf or something, like, and he never wants to take his shirt off.
They're at the beach and everybody's like, "Woo, come on, it's fine. Just take your shirt off, get in the water." He's like, I'm allergic to ocean water." And goes inside. He's just, everybody thinks he's sad, and Grip knows that he's just like, this guy's just embarrassed because he's getting married so much.
Yeah. Our last main character is Camilla, or Cam Liana. So Camilla Liana, Cam for short. She's in her late 20s. Very reserved, highly sarcastic con artist with a love for disguises and overly complicated plans. She's the brains of their operation.
Yeah.
So we've got the smooth operator, Grip, we've got the brains, Cam, and we've got the big heart and sort of heavy Davo.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the pilot here. Speaking of Smooth Operator is our theme music that we're playing with our cool action titles at the beginning of the show.
Smooth Operator.
Yeah, maybe
that
you
song,
can sing it, Charlie. That'll be.
Yeah, I know somebody who hates that song.
Really?
Every time they hear it, they get like ridiculously angry about it. I don't know.
It's a good song.
Why he hates the song so much? It's a good song. It's not an insanely good song, but it's a good song. You know.
Anyway, that's our theme music. Episode 1. Grip walks up to the bar in a rank, cyberpunky, rainy city covered with strange-looking aliens and advertisements. It's like a hotel bar. He sits down next to a smart-looking man in a business suit and says, "The weather's nice today, isn't it?" And the man replies, "It's raining." Like, sort of in like a griff, like, okay, like, it's raining outside. And then Grip, you know, revealing that this was actually a code word. So it's like, okay, good, this is you. I just want to make sure you weren't the Gek coming to steal the thing. And then he tells him that he's part of the security team, and they're going to make sure that they're on lookout for his double. And he's going to pull out like a little iPad-looking thing, and they're going to have like a picture of this shapeshifter, who they don't actually have a picture of what the shapeshifter looks like normally, but they have like, you know, the different looks that they've gone through, and they're like, we think that he's going to come in here looking like you, nicknamed the Gek for Gecko, and the body doubles like Gecko. Like geckos aren't. Isn't it chameleons that change? He's like, I don't think the changing is why they call this person the Gecko. I'm not really sure what. I think Gek is just the name. I don't know. It's a lot. No one knows. Anyway.
No one knows. It's shut up. It's not that complicated.
But the businessman, he just sort of shrugs his shoulders, and he's like, I'm not really too worried about it. I think it's going to be fine. Grip assures him that, you know, the guy they're after, you know, he's a study thief. He's not going to make this easy. This is going to be tough. You're going to need our help. And the businessman says, you know, again, I know I hired you guys, but he's nothing but a common crook. Probably take him myself. Grip is like, okay, this dude, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with him. But you know, he orders a pair of cocktails and he puts them on the businessman's room. And they're chatting briefly, and Grip asks him like, hey, what's in the case anyway that we're trying to prevent them from stealing? Businessman tells him that it's like a prototype stasis field that can instantly freeze anything in it. So you just turn it on and it will freeze everything around it except for the person that's touching it. But it doesn't, anyone that walks into the field after the freeze has like been activated, they're not going to be frozen. So it only freezes anyone that's in it at that moment. This businessman says that the one issue with it is that it has to be perfectly still while activated, and even the slightest blow or movement could lead to a complete, and before you could finish, the bartender comes back with the machine to verify his room number. And the businessman says he's going to head upstairs to change. Grip says he's going to come with, but he's like, nah, just don't worry about it. It's fine. You can stay down here and watch for the Gek to come in. And he's sort of like laughing about it. Like, I'm not worried about the Gek. You just, chill down here. I don't care.
Maybe Grip is like, at first he's against the idea of not going up with him. Like, and the guy's like, no, it's fine. Here, talk to my friend Sarah, right? And Gek, or the guy like just, this is my friend Grip. He'd love to talk to you. And Grip is kind of, hey, nice to meet you, Sarah.
Or maybe
shakes his hand, like
maybe the bartender is a really attractive woman, and then like when she comes by to like drop off the drinks, like every time Grip is like half his attention is on her, and like when and he's like about to, and when the businessman's leaving, he's like, hey, just get another. He just looks at the bartender, he's like, another couple drinks on me. And then that's when the bartender comes back over, and Grip's like, I'm just gonna chat with her, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, nice to talk to you. I'd much rather spend time with you than this old man. And the old guy kind of like gives him a bit of a dirty look, and he hustles
just
upstairs
rolls his
while
eyes or something.
Grip's chatting up this lady. Yeah.
So he has a couple more drinks on the businessman's dime. And as he's drinking and chatting with the bartender, things are going well. He's getting a little toasty when he suddenly sees the businessman coming through the main lobby in his suit. And Grip's about to say, like, you're back, and then he realizes, wait. And he looks over at the steps, and he looks over at the person that just came through the lobby, and he's like, oh, wait, no, okay, this is the mark. And he's going to look over in the corner of the room, and there's going to be a big man, which is Davo, in like a janitor's outfit, who's like, lightly mopping the floor. And Grip's going to nod to him. The businessman, or Davo's going to nod back, and he's going to walk back outside. Grip will then go up to the businessman who just sat down at the bar, and is going to slyly pull a knife out next to his chest. He tells him not to say a word and to come with him. Businessman's like panicking, sweating, and he's like saying like things about like I thought like we had this handled, like I didn't think it was gonna happen like this. And he pulls him outside into the rain, and he shoves a pair of cuffs on him and puts him in the back of the car. Davo's there, and he's because he was making sure the dude wouldn't flee when Grip was trying to collar him. So they shove him in the car. Davo shuts the door and remarks how easy it was. Grip is delighted, but then Davo says that he wants to. He's like, maybe we should check out, the Gex shape-shifting disc and see how it works. And then he goes, pulls out open the businessman's jacket, but he can't find one. And he asks Grip where it is, and they start searching him, and they panic. And he's like, wait. He asks the businessman, wait, the weather's nice today, isn't it? And the businessman just screams, it's raining, in a strained voice, like, I thought that was the code, like, oh, wait, are you my security? Like, I'm so confused. The pair curse, and Davo yells at Grip for making the code phrase such like a simple part of conversation, especially when it's raining outside, literally, and the question is about how the weather is. Like, it's something that anybody could just randomly say to that.
This planet is perpetually in a fucking monsoon, Grip. What the hell were you thinking?
Yeah, Grip's like, I didn't know it was I'm not the fucking weatherman. Like, what did you expect from me? Like, how was I supposed to know this would happen? So Davo runs inside while Grip starts scaling the hotel from the outside like the fire escapes. Davo catches the businessman on the elevator with the briefcase. So he's coming down the elevator with the briefcase. But it's shut, so he's going back up before Davo can jump in. And so now Davo scrambles to like the stairs, so he's running up the stairs, checking each floor to see where the businessman popped out. And he calls radios Grip, who's on the outside of the building. And he's like, Davo's like, he's on the elevator, I'm coming to him. And Grip's like, I got this. And he busts through the elevator from the outside through the glass. But as he does, he gets bashed in the head with the briefcase and is stunned. As the Gek runs out down the hallway, still looking like the businessman, by the way. He starts chasing the Gek, but the Gek is now turning into everyone they're passing on the hallway, and this hallway just happens to be the convention floor. So there's just tons of people everywhere, and Grip is like desperately trying to keep up, and he's only able to tell the difference because he notices that there's like a mud trail following. Because the Gek just came in from outside, obviously, and is wearing the same shoes. And it was raining, but it's like slowly dissipating as we're going here. And as he catches up, you'll also notice that as the Gek changes, the only thing that doesn't change is the Gek's shoes. So like as the Gek morphs into like one person or another, the shoes remain the same.
Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Davo and Gek. Davo and Grip are chasing after Gek. Davo is like getting to the roof here, and he gets to the roof and he hears from Grip that he's like, I'm right below him. I think he's gonna jump out the window. And Davo pulls up a little map and he can see like he's like tracking Grip's location. You can see Grip's like running through the building in a certain direction, and Davo jumps off the roof, getting ready to tackle the Gek as the Gek leaps out for the building. Right, so like they're both jumping across the street like 15 stories up. He's trying to jump on top of the Gek as they land on the next building, but instead of hitting the Gek, he managed to hit Grip instead. So the Grip and Davo just smash into each other in the middle of the air, like smash into the side of the ledge because they didn't have enough momentum because they sort of like their collision slowed their momentum. So the Gek cleanly makes it onto the next roof and keeps going, but they smash down into like the wall and like into a couple awnings, classic, comedic stuff
classic
where they're like going through
adventure.
awnings, landing on a table, going through a balcony, all that kind of stuff. And they land on the ground, just totally defeated, broken, super tired, and extremely injured.
Of course. As all good Indiana Jones-esque adventurers are.
Yes. Total.
Always nearly killed.
Yep. A lot of the action will be like that, like a little bit a little bit over the top with like how they probably should have died in this situation, but it's more fun.
But we could just, if anyone asks, we'll say that they have enhancements because it's space and they've been enhanced by blobbity bloobity nanotech.
Yeah. Right, you just don't even have to explain. Indiana Jones got into a fridge and survived a nuke.
Yeah,
that's kind of stuff.
He did do that. He also jumped out of a plane and landed on the ground and was saved by an inflatable raft.
That also happened. Yes.
Yeah. In one of the good Indiana Jones movies, no less. That's Temple of Doom.
Is Temple of Doom one of the good Indiana Jones movies?
I think that's 5 debatable. Indiana Jones movies.
I think if you're going to base it off of that, sure, yeah. But I think the 2 good ones are the first 2.
Are 1 and 3. Yeah.
1 and 3?
Yeah, 1 and 3.
It's 1 and 2.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. No. It goes Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade. That's the original trilogy. The abridged tridge, if you will.
I don't know why, but in my head, I'm pretty sure, I feel like Last Crusade's second. Is it not?
No, mate. That's third, dude.
Blowing my mind
maybe you're getting confused.
Maybe I am.
Because Temple of Doom is a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's set before the events of Raiders.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, back on the ship. Their ship's called the Junker, by the way. It's this big, hulking junkyard mess.
Yeah.
Grip is in the shower, taking a massive chunk of glass out of his left shoulder. And he walks out to Davo, who's wrapping his leg in a big old bandage. They're joking about how jumping out of a window is was absolutely horrible every time. Like I don't know why they do it. You just get so much glass stuck in you. It's just a painful thing. It always seems to happen though. And they're lamenting their failed bounty. And during this conversation, Davo will get a message, and you'll see that Marcelo Rivera, the actual businessman, who they locked in the car, has canceled their contract and is now threatening to charge them for their failure because not only did they fail, but they obstructed him, and he's gonna try to screw them over however he can. Davo yells at Grip.
Because he's a prick.
Yeah, well, yeah. But Davo's yelling at Grip now because he's kind of blaming on him. He's like, we should have never doubled up on these contracts. If we're going to do the police bounty and also try to do the security thing with Rivera, I mean, that's just idiotic. We're putting all of our eggs in one basket, and if we fail, we piss off 2 people. Now they've got no money, and they owe Rivera, who's this, big, important guy at this massive tech corp. So, this could be a serious problem for them. This guy wants to try to fuck him over. So, Grip thinks it's gonna be all right. He's very calm about this. He's like, oh, it'll be fine. All we have to do is find Gek and recover the case. Davo's like, that, yeah, sure, yeah, all we have to do is just find this master thief and recover the stolen piece of technology that freezes everybody that gets near it. Yeah, that should be so easy.
Yeah, perfect. Duh.
And he's like, yeah, and more on top of this, he could be anywhere by now. They've got no way to track him. And Grip's like, okay, I mean, anywhere. I mean, he could be anywhere on the planet, I suppose, because the stasis prototype, I mean, it's useless if he won't be able to get it off world. I mean, it's going to be a military weapon. So, there's no there's no selling it on this planet. And there's no way he can get it off world because, everything's going to be locked down. Any airport you try to go through is going to find that you have this device. It's not something you can hide in the bottom of a briefcase with a false top or something. This thing's, sizable. It's like the size of a backpack.
Big, and it's probably gives off some sort of a radiation or something that they have detectors for or some shit like that. Space TSA. Maybe we could have a crossover with Space TSA.
Oh, you could. Definitely could.
Oh.
Davo's like, okay, so then what's the point of it then? If why would the thief even take it if there's no way he can get it off world? Grip says that he's not really sure. He'd have to be using it for a job or something. And as they're talking, an ad plays on the TV for the latest exhibit at the Lorraine Art Gallery, an ancient and priceless piece of old Earth technology called the Nintendo 64.
Oh my god.
Cut to the gallery where Grip is dressed as a waiter and Davo a garbage man. Davo is complaining that he's always either a garbage man or a janitor. Like this, he doesn't like how they always play these stereotypes where Grip's always in a nice suit and he gets to go to the event and chat with people and drink. And Davo always has to be this like big hulking man who has to do a bunch of work their entire job.
I always have to clean. You always get to chat up chicks. It's like we're just doing, our roles.
Yeah, I mean,
we're just doing what we're best at. All right.
Grip easily points that. He's like, all right, I mean, you would look ridiculous in a suit. I mean, how are we? They just wouldn't work out. There's no way.
Come on, dude. This suit, we only have one suit. It's my size. You gonna get another suit, or are you just gonna look like a man stuffed inside a child's suit when you wear this? All right, think. Use your head. We don't have the money to afford a second suit.
It's like, plus, you don't have the focus for this kind of, and he just keeps stuttering, and because he sees this insanely attractive woman, he's like, all right, I'll be right back. And Davo's like, hey, no, stay on task. And Grip's like, Grip just keeps going and ignores him, and he starts chatting with this girl, and they're flirting and drinking.
Maybe Grip says something like, sorry, sir, I'm not really talking with the janitorial staff. I can't help you. Have a good day. Like, just pretending that he doesn't know.
Or, like, knocks over a plate or something. Hey, clean that up, could you? Just moves on. So, he's chatting with this girl, drinking. Davo, on the other hand, is like, all right, I'll just try it. I'll be the one person that's actually trying to get us this bounty. And he starts searching through the side rooms of the art exhibit, trying to find the stasis device. And he can't find it. He's like, it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be set up somewhere in this building. Now, no one here in this at this party has it clearly, because no one's got a bag big enough to hide it, and there's no it's not under any of the tables. So he's like, it must be like in a side room near the building. So he's going around, can't find it, and he figures maybe it's in the hotel that's like right next door, attached to the building. So he goes in there.
Maybe.
And Grip ends up in that same hotel with the attractive woman, and he's now tied to the bed. So it's very obviously heated up a little bit for him, and he's chatting with her, being sexy, and
flirtatious,
then she
and sexy and stuff.
She'll open, but after he's tied up, her demeanor will kind of change. She's like not as flirty anymore, and she's gonna open the bathroom door, which very clearly has the stasis device in it, which she picks up. And Grip is very confused, and he realizes, oh shit, this is the Gek. And he's like, so you're just using a disguise. It's seducing me. This is all part of your plan. And she was like, nah, actually, I just happened to see you, and I thought, I clearly have to. I didn't think you'd be here. I realized I'd have to lock you up though. And then she'll slip on the disguise device. So this is the real appearance of the Gek. So the Gek is really this woman.
Really is this gorgeous lady.
And it's
surprise,
how he
surprise.
couldn't, because the disguise device is like a belt. So like you kind of need to hide it under a jacket. You couldn't really wear it on a dress. Because you'd see it. It like blinks and stuff. So there was no way he could have known beforehand that this was the Gek. So she'll put on the belt and change into his appearance, and now she looks like Grip, and she'll hide it under his jacket.
Oh no.
So in the hallway outside, Davo's gonna pass Grip and be like, "Hey, have you seen the device yet? Where have you been?" And Grip's gonna be like, I don't know who you are, man. Sorry," and just keep going, just completely ignoring him. And Davo at first is gonna think like, "Oh my god, he's going after that stupid girl. Like he's just trying to pretend like he doesn't know who he is, and he's gonna keep walking down the hall like, I'm gonna find the stasis device. If I'm the only one that's gonna be working, that's fine." He's like, mumbling to himself, complaining about Grip, and he's gonna hear like muffled screams down the hall, and he's gonna keep going, and he's gonna kick in the door. He's gonna find Grip half naked, tied to the bed. He's gonna free him, and they're gonna run across the street just as the stasis field is activated. So it's gonna happen just perfectly in the moment where Davo is ahead of Grip. So Davo is going to get frozen by the stasis field, but Grip will not be. Because he's farther back. Grip will then enter the stasis field unaffected because he's coming in late. and he'll reach the main hall where everyone's frozen. Everyone, people are, mid-bite. Some people are like kind of like tripping over. Some people are dancing, all this kind of
somebody
different
squeezing
weird
somebody
positions.
else's butt, like somebody's about to is getting slapped in the face with a glove because they've impugned someone's honor. All sorts of fun stuff that happens at posh dinner parties and such.
And Grip's gonna get there just as the Gek steals the Nintendo 64, and they're gonna fight. And Grip is about to stop her when she suddenly changes back into her normal self, without the belt. And Grip halts his punch, from the sudden surprise and obviously his weakness for women. And then she'll turn back into Davo, and then this big hulking man, and hits him with big fists and then knocks him over the back with a chair. She'll then grab the stasis field, turning it off as she does, because it can't be moved while it's activated, and the Nintendo, and runs. So everyone unfreezes, and the guards think that Grip is the one who stole it, because she came in looking like Grip. So everyone, is chasing him. The guards, are going after Grip. He has to sort of fight them off, and he yells for Davo to go chase himself. And Davin will turn and see himself running down the street, and he, is running after him now. Grip will eventually get away as well, and he'll start running and trying to join them. They're going to fight and scramble their way after the Gek, who is, constantly changing appearance and freezing everyone with the stasis device. Though, importantly, she can't move while it's frozen, so it's the kind of thing that she has to use while she's like somebody, they'll shoot at her, and she'll freeze it as soon as they fire, so the bullet will, be frozen in midair, and then it'll stop. And so you'll notice here, obviously, that the device not only freezes things, it kills their momentum. So, every time she freezes them, they lose all the momentum that they were running with. Or, if they, jump after her off a building, they would just fall straight to the floor.
Yeah. All the bullets, stop in front of her, and then she turns it off, and they all just fall straight to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. At one point, Grip's going to manage to strip her of her changing device, and will toss it to Davo. And eventually the chase will end up on the roof with just Grip and Gek fighting. Gek will manage to barely activate the device. It'll get knocked away from her and all this stuff, and she'll barely activate it in time before Grip grabs her and pulls her away. So Grip will be frozen, but she'll be unfrozen. She's teasing him a little bit, and laughing that she got away with this. She's like, your friend's gone. It's just you've lost. It's over. It's so funny. And she's like, I'm just gonna actually even just leave the device here, stasis device on the field, because I don't even need it anymore. And I'm gonna take the Nintendo and get out of here. There's nothing you can do. And as she's saying this, she'll notice that Grip has a belt on, and it's her cloaking the belt. And she'll strip him of the belt and see it's Davo. And at that moment, Grip will snipe her hand, causing her to drop the stasis field and the Nintendo off the roof, and she'll jump after them off the roof. The stasis field, it can't be moved, and it was just shot, so that's clearly moving, maybe even more damage than that. It's going to be fluctuating rapidly for a while as she's falling, so it's going to be freezing, unfreezing, so it's this sort of jumpy, blaggy fall as she goes to the ground. And right before she hits the ground, it's going to permanently freeze from the ground. But the only thing that are actually frozen are her and the stasis field. So, about 2 feet from the ground, she is going to be in this frozen, in this perfect fall, barely touching the stasis field with the tip of her finger.
Yeah.
And their Davo and Grip are going to come down. You can see she's still alive in this state, but she's completely frozen. And her
maybe her eyes are moving around.
Yeah, maybe that'd be good. So she's looking around, she knows that they've won, and she's very clearly upset with this. And they're laughing now and making fun of her. And Grip and Davo are congratulated and receive their award from the police. And Rivera is mad that his device is it's basically broken. I mean, you're not gonna get much out of that. But he's got it back. And the museum curator is also disappointed because he's it's good that you stopped the thief, but I'm sad that the Nintendo was destroyed. I mean, that was a priceless artifact. That's sad, but it's good you stopped the thief, I guess.
Did you have to put a bullet in the Nintendo? Did you really?
Was that necessary? So a newspaper man will come up and he takes like a moving photo of them. But just before it's taken, Grip will like cast down his head and cover his eyes. And Davo points us out, and Grip just makes some comment about how he can't stand the flash. It makes him queasy. Post-credit scene. In a shifty bar, a man in a fine suit reads the news and sees the photo. He's got a wide scar across his face, and he goes to a little phone booth on the side. And he says that he calls somebody. He says that we might have a problem. And as he says this, the camera will cut back to the bar where he left the newspaper, and it'll zoom in on Grip's partially covered face.
Oh no!
So
Grip's got some enemies.
Ooh, what is it?
Ooh.
Episode 2, that's where we introduced to Cam, who obviously you probably knows was not in that.
I kept thinking maybe the Gek was going to be Cam and they were gonna beat her, and then, you know, because she's so good, right, instead of turning her over to the cops, they were like, well, you're on our team now. That's how I thought that was gonna go, but I'm okay with the fact that that's not how it went. I'll live. I'll accept it.
You'll live. That's good. I'm glad you'll live. Episode 2, it starts off with Davo being happy. They've got some money. They can afford to fuel up and move out of this planet and find some place that's actually got some decent work. And as he's saying this, as they pull out from the planet and go into space, and they enter, hyperspace, and it's gonna be a little time. Grip says that he's got the perfect in-flight entertainment, and he pulls out the Nintendo 64.
Yes, I knew that the Nintendo didn't actually get destroyed.
Davo freaks out. He's like, "We gotta go return that right away, dude. We can't be stealing that." And Grip convinces him. He's like, "Okay, we can bring it back. We can do that. But since we have it here now, and we're already going to another planet, we're gonna need to take another job anyway to get back and return it and stuff. Why don't we just play a little bit?"
Yeah,
Davo's reluctant.
See what people in the 20th century like to do with their free time.
Yeah. He's reluctant, but he's like, yeah, well, okay, fine. And so they start playing Super Mario 64. So as they're flying, Camilla or Cam hears word of a contract by the Catalines. The Catalines, we'll get into later and what they are, but she'll be very, very intimidated by this, and very interested by it as well, because it's a very lucrative contract. It's this contract to track down this bounty hunting duo. Not kill them, just find them and relay their location. She's like, oh, that shouldn't be too bad. I can do that. She'll probably be in the middle of a con as she does this. She'll, swindle somebody in a poker game, or, maybe she's pretending to be somebody else and buys a really expensive spaceship and then flies away on their credit. So she figures that, I don't know, this bounty hunting duo, they probably rob someone big, and they, it shouldn't be too hard to swindle them out of their prize and leave them to the mafia. She's not even that interested in leaving them to, I said the mafia, they're not the mafia, the Catalines. She's not even interested, she doesn't want to be involved in that part of the job. She figures that because that the Catalines are after them, that these people clearly have something, and she can steal it from them and then leave them to die when the Catalines come in, and then, whatever, bounty hunter comes in and relays their location, they'll still think that they have it, and she'll be able to get away clean with this, whatever bounty they have, whatever big, prize that they're holding. So, she'll run into them, and, she'll track them down. She'll see that they were just in this job, and she'll probably flirt with a gate agent and see where they went. And find that they were flying off to this next planet, and she'll figure that they probably have to stop. She doesn't know where they're going to go exactly, but they're going to have to stop at this way station to refuel and everything, and get ready for the next jump, wherever they go in particular. But she has to get there before them, so she has to get there before they refuel and get on their way. So she'll get there just barely in time to an asteroid way station, where she'll meet Grip at the bar, and she's chatting them up. And she's like, oh, I heard you and your partner have got a pretty big prize from your last job. And he's like, oh, how did you hear about that? I thought we did a good job hiding that. So it's very clear that she thinks that this is some crazy thing, and he's kind of making her think it is, not realizing that she doesn't know that when they get back, it's going to be a video game console, and she's going to be really disappointed.
Not happy.
Not happy at all. and she'll play like Mario 64 with them for a little bit, but she's very disappointed on the way this went. But she'll steal it anyway, and Grip and Davo will track her down. And as they're tracking it down, she's going to get entangled with debtors who won't accept the payment of the Nintendo 64 as like her way of getting out of her debt. And so they're going to leave her for death and probably tie up in some crazy contraption. And that's when Davo and Grip, who are hunting her down, are going to find her and save her from, the certain death. And in return for their help, she's going to help them get their console back. And they're going to end up, tracking down this debtor agency, probably like a mafia sort of organization, and clear her debt by killing all of the mafia members and getting the console back. However, unfortunately, at the end of this, her ship is going to blow up. So, in the next episode, she's gonna be hanging out with them for a ride to the next planet, but it's going to, slowly be like, okay, well, she's just gonna essentially join their crew. It's gonna be very much a reluctant joining, where she's constantly telling herself and saying out loud that she doesn't want to be a part of their group, and she's just staying with them because she needs some money to get her next ship, and they owe her because they accidentally blew up her ship, that kind of stuff. But she's part of the group, is really what it is.
She's starting to they do game nights. Oh, well, that's stupid. Cut to her winning at, sorry or whatever. And she's like, in your face, idiots, boom. And she's slowly but surely becoming a member of the crew. Do they have any robots or anything on the ship? I was just wondering if there's like a maid bot or something.
They could have
some sort of fourth character who acts as just comic relief, like a Herbie the Robot style dude.
Yeah, they could have like a Roomba kind of thing.
Yeah, a Roomba kind of thing that just like every once in a while will be like, idiots.
Which they'll reveal has a gun or something, or like essentially has a gun because it's got like a lighter and it's got like fluid. It's like and they'll be like, I didn't realize you had a flamethrower, clean bot. And it's like, oh well, this is for cleaning off scab marks on the outside of the ship. But it also comes in handy for roasting infiltrators.
That's great. Every once in a while, we'll just see the clean bot sweeping up a pile of dust, and in the background it won't be referenced. And then at the midway through season 2, we reveal that there've secretly been people trying to break into the ship the whole time, and Cleanbot's just been killing them. That
would be a great B story on an episode where people break into the ship, and the Cleanbots has this Die Hard style situation coming on. And at the end of the episode, after Cleanbot has killed all of people and burned their corpses and everything, the Davo and Grip and Camilla will get back, and they'll see the ship, and they'll be like, Cleanbot, come on, you did a terrible job. What's going on? We're gonna have to reboot you or something? What's up with this? This place is a total mess. And Cleanbot will be like, Cleanbot, we'll get right on it.
Cleanbot will be right on it. And we see one little digital tear roll down Cleanbot's cheek.
Poor Cleanbot. I do have the reveal that I'll give you now. So that organization, the Catalines, we're gonna find out throughout the show, which is the main season arc thing, is that Grip, before he was this, this bounty hunter, smuggling, kind of guy, he was
badass dude.
A former political assassin, political hitman. For this conspiracy organization called the Catalines, who are sort of the shadow government of this nation. So he worked for them, and he helped them take power. Basically, he worked for his friend was slowly moving up through the ranks of the political ranks. And he helped him take out his competition and overthrow the old leader for him. But when he did it, by the end of it, the guy that he kind of thought was his friend ends up betraying him and leaves him for dead in a junkyard because he's got to clean up all of his leads. And he doesn't want anyone to know how he took power. Is essentially what it is. And now he's gonna find out that Grip is still alive, and he's like, I need to kill him so he can't reveal that I'm this that I might be the president of
Usurper.
this nation, but I don't want people to know that I was part of this shadowy organization, that I've got all these, nefarious contacts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
and then,
and so it'll get revealed, and essentially by trying to kill Grip, it's going to be revealed that, this leader is corrupt and evil, and he had this whole conspiracy to take power, and he's the guy that killed the old president and everything.
Disney
and we'll
villain
have a
style.
final
He'll
showdown. We'll fight and stuff. It'll be great.
Yeah, he'll have a big monologue, and the monologue will secretly have been recorded and live streamed to the populace, and there's a revolution in the street, and then he and Grip have a big climactic sword fight at the top of something really cool, and like a clock tower or a big statue of him,
that'd be cool.
of the evil president.
Or like in like the political, capital or whatever.
Exactly.
Big building.
And then, Grip falls down the statue, but he grabs a knife and he sticks the knife into the face of the statue, and it replicates the big wide scar that he has on his face.
Yeah.
As just sort of a little bit of a irony, you could say.
I like it. Very good.
Yeah.
So that, Charlie, is Fearless Remembrance.
I like that a lot. That is a very classic VRP episode, in the best ways possible.
Mm-hmm. I love a good space adventure. It's been a while since we had a nice little fun space adventure with, some classic, the classic crew scenario.
Some classic crew archetypes, fun worlds, weird, kooky characters, all sorts of fun stuff like that. That does mean that the space show that I was planning to do, it has to take it go on the back burner for a little bit, but we'll be all right.
I didn't realize you had a space show in your pocket.
Well,
I thought you were just excited to see me. I didn't realize you had a space show in your pocket.
A space show in your pocket? Ooh. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat. Remember, we will be here next week with a brand new televisual series for you to imagine and enjoy. And the title of that show will be...
All right, Charlie.
Dun, dun, dun.
Pick through 1 through 4.
5. No, 2.
2.
I picked 2.
This is silly. I already told him the title. He knows what it is. It's The
I
Commodore.
know what it is. The Commodore. I'm excited about it. I've got an idea. I will postpone writing that idea down until the morning that I am pitching, and then I will write it down in a fury. It's gonna be great.
You if the space show was your idea for this, you should do the space show. We love space shows.
We do love space show. We love space in general.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and have a good night.